Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Nurturing Astrology podcast. I'm Dominique your astrologer and host. On this show, I will bring you practical guidance and insight from my own work, studies, and life experiences, as well as interview experts to bring you stellar wisdom from other teachers and professionals. I'm so glad you're here, and thanks for tuning in. Okay, let's dive into today's show. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Nurturing Astrology podcast. I'm Dominique, your astrologer and host.
And welcome to this week's Thought Starter, where we examine a big question about astrology and how it might reshape the future of education. I'm Melody, your astrologer educator and co-host.
Hi, Melody.
Hi, Dominique.
All right, so we're back. And today, with our Thought Starter, we are asking the question to our teachers, to our educators. And the question is, do you think, or can your chart restore your passion to educate? Do you
That's
think it can help?
feels like a big one. And I mean, of course, we're going to say yes,
Yeah.
right? Um, but just thinking about these moments of crisis in calling, uh,
Mhm.
moments where you doubt, like, wow, it's just this is not what I thought it was going to be, or I can't find my inspiration anymore. To wonder, is this still my calling? Am I called to move out of teaching into something else, or is there something that can rekindle this passion? And Dominique and I both feel a great level of compassion for teachers. I hope you've heard it in our past episodes. I know we kind of get in there and start talking about the education system and how it's not serving things, but I hope you also hear that we have a great deal of compassion for teachers being caught in a system that doesn't serve students and teachers as well. But we believe your chart has your answers.
Yeah,
So let's
we do.
kind of help you go from burnout to breakthrough.
That's
What
the
do you think,
hope, right?
Dominique? Yeah.
I agree. I think that's something that as we've been recording these great conversations and some interviews and stuff, I don't want to give teachers or educators the idea that we want to put more on their plate,
Right.
right? Or something else, that we actually have a lot of compassion and really want them to be happy doing what they love and see the value of teaching and the need for great teachers.
Hmm.
And, I feel like every teacher's already earned their wings by choosing that profession.
For
You
sure.
know what I mean? But yeah, the goal is to really support educators and to support teachers. And I think the times that we're in, you're seeing, and the astrology supports it, right? That
Yeah.
people are really questioning a lot. And given the changes in the systems, teachers are discouraged. We've seen videos and talked to people that are just like, at a loss, and it's like you've lost the that love and feeling for for educating,
Yeah.
and it's because the systems and the environments haven't been supporting. So it's like, how can I lean into taking my power back, and instead of leaving the profession, can we create things or re-inspire you to maybe redirect or reconsider um, the lane that you're in, or the direction that you're going, so that you stay in this calling. That's the thing. And is it your calling? Are you doing it? This is the question of ask a time to ask in, Sag season, and we've had the Gemini new moon and the Gemini full moon and the Sag new moon. It's like, what is the vision for my future? What is my philosophy as an educator, and what is the direction I want to take? Because so many things are changing, right? So
Yeah.
that's what we want to get into today a little bit, is um, how understanding your chart can actually help you, and especially now, determine this. You can go back to the one we did, that focuses on the relationship, the student teacher relationship. Step one is about you, but we're going to go deeper into that now and just focus on you to help kind of see if you can reignite this calling, if astrology can help guide
Yeah.
you, right? So, this matters for teachers now. Don't you agree?
Mhm. Oh, yes, absolutely. It does. And timely, we've referenced the full moon a couple of times, but I'm not sure we've pointed out that that full moon is an embodiment of a polarity because the full moon is always on the opposite side of the sun. And so a Gemini full moon means the sun is in Sagittarius. So already that Gemini Sagittarius axis of learning is activated during the upcoming Gemini full moon. So it's a timely season. And then
Yeah.
for the Sagittarius new moon, what better time for planting seeds of inspiration for
Yeah.
teachers? So yeah.
Absolutely. And if you're listening to this after the full moon or even after the new, this we're in this energy still and we're
Mhm.
closing out a year, you're on break,
Yes.
and it's like how do I want to enter and return to the classroom in the new year? And
Mhm.
how can I restore my faith in what's possible or my
Yes.
joy or my love for what I
Mm.
do? And maybe do a little review around the direction I'm going,
Yeah.
and the direction I could possibly go. So let's review. Mercury is how we teach, like our communication style, our, how we
Yes.
give instructions or our preferred way of structuring information, right?
Mhm.
And the way that we fast talkers and teachers? Do we give
Right.
space and time? The classroom, right? That whole thing, or where our frustrations come up with teaching, and that could be the dynamic of, the environment you're teaching in.
Mhm.
Um, so that's your Mercury, and then Jupiter's the why, right? Why we teach. Speak to the Jupiter and that philosophy.
Yeah. So Jupiter's an exploratory, excited, expansive planet. We see it physically, we see it with all its moons, we see it with the energy it carries as it resonates with Sagittarius. So, why you teach, your philosophy of education, higher education is all about Jupiter and Sagittarius.
Mhm.
Um, and so Jupiter can be kind of your guiding planet when it comes to motivation for teaching. And you can look there in your house if you know your birth time and in the sign it's in your chart for what really got you into teaching in the first place.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
I love that, just the how and why, and just to sit with those questions, It was, why
Yeah.
was I called to do it? I think Cornelia mentioned that to me too. She's like, I think every teacher should ask the question, why am I doing this? Or why did I want to do this? And maybe you're a
Mhm.
teacher because your mom was a teacher or your dad was a teacher or just a family
Yeah.
thing, or, are you doing it for, is it a calling? Is it just a job, And we're at a
Mhm.
time right now where all of these things are being questioned, with the Uranus in Gemini moving into that next year. You got a taste of it, we got a
Mhm.
taste of it this year. So what kind of
Yeah.
activated this year that might have been like, wait a minute, something, the system is shaken up and I'm shaken up and I don't know where my footing is. I don't know where the future is going and I don't know my part in it or
Yeah.
what direction I want to go in. And so Jupiter can take you back to the philosophy of why you love to teach, or what is your meaning? What is the meaningful thing for you about why you teach? So if you can
Yeah.
look to your Mercury and Jupiter sign in your own chart, you can kind of delineate this a little bit, and you can also get help. You don't forget,
Mhm.
you run your chart on a free
Yes.
site,
Yes.
astro.com, or there's many apps. And if you're listening to this and you're a teacher who's into astrology, you might already know this, or you're like came across this and you're like, I don't know anything about this at all. There are free resources, astro.com, but also you can also seek out an astrologer and say, hey, I'm a teacher. I'm in this place right now where I don't know which end is up. I'm losing my passion for what I'm doing, and have a reading done about where all these energies are placing for you and activating for you and challenging your life direction or your calling based on the changes that are happening in the system. So, also the third place is that third and ninth. If you know your time of birth, looking at that
Mhm.
third and ninth, you want to remind them and have them consider that third and ninth axis.
Yeah, yeah, we touched on this in the last episode, but that third to ninth axis is considered the axis of learning, It's your teaching style, your subject strengths, your approach to learning. Everyone has one, not just teachers,
Yeah.
but teachers in particular. That third to ninth chart or Gemini Sagittarius energy is going to be super emphasized.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So if we use these placements, or if teachers can use these placements to kind of like redirect their calling, what does that look like?
Hmm, that's a great question. I know for me, my personal example is I have Leo over the third house, Aquarius over the ninth, and it's been activated recently through what we're doing right here, right now. Just
Yep.
a real passion for education, the education system, seeing what's happening with it. I have four children who've been through or are still in the public education system in the United States. And for as much good as they bring to the table as students and get what they can, there's just a lot of things that could be better. And I would like to see change happen. And so welcoming Uranus and Gemini. But for myself, I believe when Mars went through Leo this past summer was
Yeah.
really when the spark kind of hit and we started talking about doing this series. And um, I think teachers can look for other planets to reignite. Where are the transits happening in your chart, and what is going on with your Jupiter? What is going on with your Mercury? Is it being
Yes.
impacted by Saturn, so it's kind of quenching things a little bit, or is Saturn requiring you to step a level and level up a little bit? There's a
Yeah.
lot of ways to look at it, but I think
Yeah.
astrology holds answers for anyone facing any kind of situation or questioning. Um, their path as a teacher.
Yeah, one of the biggest things a lot of astrologers focus on is the power of the chart for helping you identify your purpose and your, life path and things like that. And you could be in a place where you're really questioning that, you know?
Hmm.
So if we want to look at ways to, if we gather this information on our own, right, there's a way to um, try and simply look at these particular places,
Yeah.
Mercury sign and house or Jupiter sign and house, but it can get a little complicated. So I definitely like suggest getting some support if you need it. If you're feeling like, oh, this is me, then you likely are being activated. But
Yeah.
the changes can look like even small shifts, like considering teaching a different subject or going to a different grade level, like if you've been teaching, going down or up, those kinds of shifts, consider those things, right? Or how can I adjust how I communicate if I understand my Mercury better and realizing, oh, I could actually adjust a little bit, be more conscious of the way I'm communicating and observe how that's being received, those kinds of things. Just maybe a
Yes.
little goal, right?
Yes.
A little goal or a little shift rather than I'm out of here. This isn't working for me. But if you have a passion for it and a calling for it, like how could I make some adjustments or try some different things
Mhm.
in the new year? And maybe at this, Sag new moon, it's a time to reflect. If
Yeah.
if you're a journaler, right? Very Mercurial
Yes.
Sag, like,
Yes.
what kind of teacher am I? What am I, what is my style or what is my subject? And is it a subject I'm passionate about? And that can be based on your Mercury. Or
Yeah.
what gives me meaning as an educator? Like, what is the
Yeah.
deeper reason and purpose for why I teach? And your Jupiter might give you a little insight there. And then what wisdom do I feel called to share? Or what kind of, like, how do I want to help the future evolution of this field
Oh,
and
yeah.
for students, and the future of education, which is the Gemini, Uranus and Gemini. That calling is for teachers. Like you said, that's a calling for teachers to reinvent themselves or reimagine or re explore different ways of
Yeah.
doing things and a big part of it, I think, is tech. And we know crazy advancements are happening in tech really fast. And
Hmm.
there's a lot of resentment on the part of teachers because they know fundamentally what the kids are going to miss by taking
Hmm.
and not have the skill sets they're not going to get if they're
Yes.
using tech. And
Right.
that's a real concern and a real
Right.
frustration. So, how do they? I know right now it's like, having them do more in class in writing so they can't be on tech, and be on the
Right.
computers at home where they could, get it through AI and stuff like that. There's going to
Hmm.
have to be a reimagining and that's the Pluto and Aquarius versus the Uranus and Gemini. It's like, how can we control this tech monster that's coming, right? This evolution that's coming with tech in a way that still empowers the individual and gives them be able to give them the skills they need in life,
Yeah.
right? So that's
Yeah.
another thing I think is that resentment there that's building up.
Yeah, I'm getting more of a ping on that as far as like, a teacher who's inspired. We're talking about their Jupiter and their why of teaching. I could imagine resentment building up from a teacher as far as like, I didn't get into this to have to defend or investigate
Hmm.
if my students are using AI. Like
Yeah.
that's not the point. And to have to do extra work to be sure that that's not happening has to be frustrating because it's
Yeah.
not anything close to what their their
Yeah.
calling was about. Yeah,
So while you're on your break, teachers, spend time with your family, restore, take care of your bodies and your
self-care.
minds, right? And if you want to take some time, this might be a fun thing to do. Take some of those journal questions, take a little time to yourself and look up your chart or spend some time with it, explore these things and seek support if you need it.
Yeah.
I'm here. I would love to go down this rabbit hole with your chart if you want to reach out
Mhm.
to me for a session. And Melody has a great resource too, especially if you're a beginner with
I do.
astrology.
I
Share that.
do. I offer, and it's still in PDF form, so it's
Mm.
not out on the market quite yet, but I make it available to clients, people who've come to our summits in the past. It's called your Planetary Council.
Mm.
It offers a tool of planet by planet. It's a two-page spread.
Hmm.
It allows you to fill in the blanks on your observations about the planet in your chart, where it sits, where it falls. It guides you into finding your own resources that resonate for you, because I could give you an interpretation that doesn't resonate if
Right.
our charts are so diametrically different. What I have to say may not resonate for you, but you can find very easily online, and I always recommend a tangible book because that's how I love to learn, is having things to touch, um, and help yourself dive
Yeah.
into each one of these planetary points. But you could open it right up and start with Mercury and Jupiter if you wanted. You don't
Yeah.
have to go through in the order that I've placed them. And that
Yeah.
could really, especially with Jupiter as the North Star for teachers, that Jupiter page could really open up some thoughts and ideas and inspiration. Really, we
Yeah.
want to inspire teachers and rekindle that flame for the new year.
Yeah, with Jupiter and Cancer right now, transiting wise, it's connecting to all of our moons. So it's like,
Mm.
what is your moon too, in terms of like how you need to be nurtured, how you want to nurture your guiding star for your purpose and your career path.
Mm.
So sit with some of the journal questions that we mentioned and in relation to what you're learning about each of those planets, I think could be really, really powerful and helpful
Mhm.
so that you can move through this new year, feeling more renewed,
Oh yeah.
and restored in your faith or in yourself and what is really, driving you and what you're really passionate about. And I think that's important. We see astrology as a compass. It can really help be a wonderful
Yes.
guide and a
Mhm.
wonderful tool. There are many tools,
Yeah.
but this is the one that we happen to be passionate about, that we see great value in.
Yeah.
Um, so we really hope that you take this time off at the holidays to take good care of yourselves and maybe take a little time to explore your astrology, to recommit to your purpose and your life path and your calling as an educator because we need you.
Yes. Yes. Thank you,
Oh,
teachers. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't get to say it in person enough, but
yeah,
we appreciate you and all that you do, and we're hoping for better.
absolutely. My heart is full. A
Yes.
little verklempt saying that, but it's true. I feel bad for educators right now, and I really hope that we can do some small part to support you.
And
So,
encourage. Yeah.
yeah, and encourage you. So, thank you, Melody, for your wisdom as well. This is beautiful, and I hope that I look forward to our next thought starters in the new year and the many things that we hopefully can do to support
And
education. Maybe bring astrology into it a little more.
woohoo, we hope. Thank you.
All right, take care. Bye, everyone. Thanks for listening, and I hope you gained some great astrology insight and inspiration from today's show. I'd love to hear, so drop me a comment or share in a review. Check out the show notes for all the details and links about today's episode, how you can connect with me on social or work with me directly. And don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. Take care and keep nurturing the nature, friends. I'll see you on the next episode.